Yeah, this is a Bang Bang Rail. I've got a comment. Someone sent me a comment about Harwood's, John Stokes from Ladbroke Grove. I think, if I remember rightly, I think the Harwood's worked down the market, down the fruit market there. Is it Petticoat Lane or Portobello? Was it Petticoat or Portobello? I'm not quite sure which one it is yet. I think it's Portobello, isn't it? They're working down in the market. John Stokes. Well, John Stokes, a lot of people know him and his dad. But John Stokes, good little boxer, John. It was a hard, he could have a right fight, John Stokes. I remember him years ago. I was in London Transport boxing, but I've been with pros, I've been sparring with pros, going to Beckett, going down Haverstock Hill, Noble Ark, Wellington Highgate, and I've been wrapped around professional fighters for quite a bit of time, yeah. And they asked me to go down to East Acton Boxing Club. I went down there and they asked me to look at this kid. When I say kid, I think he's about 10 years younger than me then, yeah. And it's a lot then, isn't it, when you're young? You're 26 or 22 and they're 10 years younger. Now it doesn't mean nothing, yeah. But when you're in them days, it does, yeah. In them times, it does. Sorry, not days, times, yeah. First in the morning, isn't it? So anyway, I went down there and I see this geezer, John Stokes. And they wanted me to get in the ring and have a move about with him, yeah. And I did. I get in the ring with him, and we had a move about. And yeah, mate, this kid was going to go a long way, yeah. But I don't know what happened. I never really heard too much about it after that. Then I hear other things. John Stokes got involved with a big company, and I heard that he got himself a little bit of bird. I'm not quite sure how true it was. But I like John. I like John Stokes. He doesn't sound like bullshit. He's a right hardy little guy, you know what I mean? And his dad. I'm not quite sure. I think his dad's dead. I'm not quite sure. Rest in peace, John Stokes. If you are dead, mate, for his boy. Yeah, but we go a long way. We go back. Alec Jones. I mean, Alec. I talk a lot about my mate Alec Jones, yeah. Me personally, yeah. Everyone's talked about, when I went from West London over to South East London, North London, all around in places, South London, to fight, street fights and unlicensed fighting, everybody was talking about Lily McLean, everybody was talking about Roy Shaw, Cliff Fields, Johnny Waldron, there's loads of fights, Colombo. There's so many fighters in them days, yeah. Everyone was talking about it because they're all over that side. No one was over from West London, yeah. And really, West London, they wasn't interested in all that unlicensed fighting. These people can have rows, you know. These people can have fights, you know what I mean? Good fighters, mate. And they don't bother about that. They wasn't interested. I was the only one that was really interested in it. To go over there and fight these people because I all kept hearing about who they were, what they could do, and this, that, and the other. And I thought to myself, well, West London to me is a much better place than over there. You know, there's more hardy people in West London than what there is over there because all them people over there was down to armed robberies, and fraudsters, gangsterism, and all that. You know, but it seemed to me that West London was the place that there's fighters, good fighters over in West London. Most of them are travelling fellas, good fighters, travelling fellas. The Frankhams, the Stevenses and all that little firm come from our manor, come from our sort of way, our side of the water, yeah. I also think that they come from outside of the water as well. Tyson Fury comes from our side, not that side, it's our side. You know, all the good fighters that come from outside. I mean, Alec Jones, yeah, I talk about him quite a lot, Alex. He's a very good mate of mine, Alec Jones. And people, a lot of people say this and say that, but let me tell you something, right? Alec Jones, I used to do a lot of unlicensed fighting over South East London and North London and all around there. Alec Jones, as far as I'm concerned, he'd smash them all to pieces. He would have smashed them all to pieces. I think he's had his hands full a bit with Cliff Fields, a bit. Roy Shaw, Lenny, I think he'd wipe the floor with them. I mean, Alex Jones was a good fighter, mate. He could. This guy can fight. Yeah, I mean, in the ring, he can have a fight in the street. Me and him together, back to back, at that time. I don't think we could beat. I don't think many people could beat us back to back in them days. Nah, no one, mate. We was back to back. No one could fight me and Alex Jones. I don't give a who they are, who they think they are. They couldn't do it. I'm on about on the street. On about on the street, or not in the ring, back to back. But But anyway, you had some good fighters from over my way. You had Johnny Hannon. Johnny Hannon, mate. I mean, I don't know no one who's come from over that side of the water, north side and east side and south side, who doesn't reckon Johnny Hannon at all. Johnny Hannon's got a good name. They talk about Bill the Bum. Listen, I've got big respect for Bill the Bum because I've been away with Bill the Bum. He's got a good name. But you've got to remember, mate, people never mention to people my size. Like Johnny Hannon, he can fight, mate, Johnny Hannon. You know what I mean? He could have a right fight. He didn't have much boxing experience as far as boxers are concerned, but mate, he on the street, he can fight. He can fight Johnny Hannon. And I think he could, myself personally, I reckon he'd have done that lot over there, without a shadow of a doubt, mate. He'd have done that lot, He wasn't into the unlicensed fighting and all that. He just could handle himself, yeah. You got Johnny Hannon, you got John Stokes, you got Alex Jones, you got the Arwoods. The Arwoods could march on, mate. They could march on as well. There was some good fighters, mate. Good fighters. I mean, I'm on about people, that like years ago fighters. We just had West London. Personally, I think West London was the place as far as fighters come from, that side of the water. That side of the water, South London, North London, East London, okay, come this side, our side, West London, all around there, South West London. Listen, we was the business, mate. We was the business. Don't worry about that, mate. We was the business. I shouldn't say South West London because that was that Bermondsey, in it. Is it Bermondsey, Brockley, in it, all around that manner. But when I eventually went to Lewisham, all around them places, and I met all that lot, all them, hard people, and there was a lot of hard people there, yeah, of course there was, yeah. But I was like an up and coming. I was going to be the business. Don't know about that, mate. They thought I'd be number one there, Cliff Fields. What it was, when I come out of prison, early in the 80s, 78, 79, 80s, that sort of time, when I was doing that in licensed fighting, listen, mate, I would fight anybody. It's, you got people like Eddie Richardson, yeah, was trying to get me fights. You got Terry Coombs that was trying to get me fights. You got, not so much Terry Sharp, because Terry Sharp was fighting at that time, yeah, as well. But he got Jimmy Tibbett. He was trying to get me fights. And I couldn't get no fights. I couldn't get fights. It wasn't, it just could. Listen, no one wants to fight someone who's going to give them a terrible row, you know what I mean? No one's going to wants to fight someone who they look like they could beat someone, you know what I mean? Lenny, I had big respect for Lenny McLean. Big respect for him, mate. Big respect for what he's done in his life. The books, do you know what? I often think to myself, those two, yeah, when they wrote books, they sold about 1 million to 2 copies each, him and Roy Shaw, yeah, because there was nothing else. Imagine if it was about today. Imagine if they was about today, all the media they had got. They'd have earned a fortune. They'd have earned a fortune, Roy and Lenny McLean. They'd have earned a fortune, It's a shame, really, that in them days there wasn't much media going about. There wasn't many phones and all that crap, yeah. There wasn't many people. I mean, I had a boxing show, yeah, when I had 2 boxing promotions in Acton Town Hall, yeah? Big boxing promotions in Acton Town Hall. I had all my Columbos, I had Steve Ritchie, I had lots of people, I had loads, look at his name, Steve Ritchie, sorry mate, Colin Cracknell's, but there was loads, Gutridge, there was loads of people that I had fights, loads of 10, maybe 12 unlicensed fighters would come from over that side to come there, because no one wants to fight my side, only me and Colin Cracknell, from the foot market. But when I was doing my unlicensed fighting, I think Frankie Warren had maybe done it about a couple of years, 3 years before me, yeah. I thought that I was going to go forward. I'm now trying my hardest, yeah. I mean, we've got the paper about me when I do my unlicensed fighting. I'm trying my hardest now to get the video of my fights at Acton Town Hall and the fights, and it's my show, Hillman Promotions, yeah. They were my shows. I had 2 shows in Acton Town Hall. I think it was about October 1980 time, something like that, 81 time, not quite sure, around about them times, yeah. But I'm really trying hard to get them, and I'm trying to get the archives to see if I can get these videos, yeah. I really want to get them, yeah. I really want to put them onto the media and Facebook and all that, and let people see what it was about, what the shows I had, yeah. The shows I had were really good shows, and like everything else, when you first start anything, you don't earn no money. You're not earning no money. All you're looking after is the fighters, yeah. So all I looked after was the fighters, giving them £300, £600 and all that sort of thing. So I'm only looking after them. Me and a guy called Bob Coleman, yeah. I mean, it's a fantastic name, Hillman Promotions, Bob Coleman, Way Hill. Hillman Promotions are good, really, really good. And after the second one, I got involved with more gangsterism. I got involved with more, listen, you have two promotions, yeah, and you're not earning no money. You're earning like maybe 300 quid, 400 quid each promotion. You're not getting nowhere. You're not going nowhere because you're not really, it's not building up, is it, as such? Not many people know about it over that site anyway. But even though it was packed, when it comes to us doing the third one, yeah, the police got involved and they didn't want it in there for some reasons. They were saying there's some bomb under the ring, pulled the ring down. And it's just someone giving us grief, and I couldn't do no more shows there, yeah. And then after that I went, what's the point, you know what I mean? Go back over to that side, go back over to Lewisham, start doing unlicensed fighting again over there, yeah. So went back over there and then started to meet people that I've been in prison with, starting to, to meet people like Peter Kelly, Peter Kelly from Bermondsey, Jamaica Road, and all that little firm down there, the Arabs, that's our that was it? I think it was called the Arp and Aaron, wasn't it? Was the Arp and Aaron? Was it there? What pub was they called? I forget, Sugarloaf, isn't it? Was it the Sugarloaf they had? Yeah, the Sugarloaf, I think it was. I mean, the Arp and Aaron was the Haywoods, yeah. But when I used to go, I was away with that lot. I was away with all that lot in Maidstone, Arif, Dennis, Duncan, Duke, and all that firm. I was in Maidstone with them and in Albany with them too, yeah. But they were proper people, mate. They were proper dangerous people, and I come over to that area, them areas, to fight, I mean, I used to come down Jamaica Road with Peter Kelly, but I wasn't fighting there. I just wanted to earn money. I was working with Peter, but we're getting good money, I didn't want to get involved with the fighting. And I thought, nah, it's fighting games. Just getting punched all around the gaff for 300 quid, 400 quid, But obviously now they're getting fortunes for it, you know what I mean? You're getting people now, it's ridiculous money they're getting. They don't do nothing, They just don't do a thing. And what Matt Led said the other day was so true, He said that unlicensed fighting now, the bare knuckle fighting, is a lot easier than with the gloves. You know, there's not so many injuries with the bare knuckles as there are with the gloves, which is correct. This is correct, because if you're eating bare fist, you cut people, cut their eyes, and all this and that, and it can be stopped easy, you know, because of all the cuts and bits and people had enough, yeah. But with gloves, it's an internal thing, isn't it? You don't get so many cuts, but boom, it's that internal the ring in your head. It's all them. It's an unlicensed fighters don't go 15 rounds, mate. Don't go 10 rounds. Don't go 12 rounds. You know what I mean? Very rarely, mate. They get smashed to pieces, and it's so different to with gloves. Gloves is a lot harder, I believe, than bare knuckle fights. Bare knuckle fights can stop in 1 round and cut the skeezer's face. It can be done in short time. Look at Matt Leg was true. Matt Leg was right what you were saying there. Gloves is a lot harder than bare knuckle fights. Than, you know, a lot. Believe. I'm telling you, believe, mate. And when we was doing the unlicensed fighting, you're fighting in them times, in the 70s, and 78, 79s, you're fighting with gloves, yeah, 8-ounce gloves that are like 4-ounce gloves, because all the padding's gone from the front of the glove. Seriously, I'm not joking, you know what I mean? Yeah, and when I was watching that video called Box On, yeah, and it was at the Rainbow, I think. Was it the Rainbow or Mayfair, Tottenham? And I see me there fighting Brian Hall. I got a bit excited, you know what I mean? Because it's the first time that I've seen a video with me on it, you know, because, man, 40 odd fights I had unlicensed fighting, do you know what I mean? And none of them, because don't you remember, people didn't have mobile phones. And if they did, they didn't have cameras and all that. It's like little Nokia things, silly things and all that, you know. Like, I don't think was it 1-to-1, wasn't it? Was it 1-to-1 that came out then? I can't remember, but that was after I was doing my unlicensed fighting. That was after. So there wasn't many cameras. There wasn't many. I mean, people like Frankie Warren, you know, that got in with the papers as well. Frankie, very clever, Frankie Warren, got in with the papers and got known for the unlicensed fighting. And then, you know, I don't know how he got a boxing licence, because Vicky Andretti in him was slagging down the British Boxing Board of Control that was going out of fashion, but that's neither here nor there. He got it, yeah. And he's entitled to get it. He put a lot of work into the unlicensed fighting. He's someone, Frankie Warren, very clever. He's a very clever man, yeah. I was only gutted, really, that I never pushed it forward like he pushed it forward. I think that I'd have been a good promoter, mate. You know, if I'd have followed his footsteps. Because we started, as I said, doing unlicensed fighting, our own promotions, yeah. I keep saying I want to do it, you know, but it's people keep saying, yeah, we'll do this, we'll do that, but it never happens. It just drives you mad, you know what I mean? It's, if I had, 30 grand around me, 40 grand around me now, I would get into it myself, yeah. And that is the most important part of it is, where it is better now is because they've got the media, ain't you? You got the media, and they get on. I mean, you got young Ben Hatchett. Listen, I run him down and again, Ben, but he's doing what he's doing, you know. And I see him in the ring the other day doing a bit of shadow boxing. He looks a lot better than what he did when he first started. We all know that Ben really can't fight, but he's trying. He gets in the ring, he puts a pair of gloves on, or he don't put no gloves on, and he gets in there and he does what he's got to do. You know, it takes a lot of bottle, believe it takes a lot of bottle to get into a boxing ring, just to get in it without throwing any punches. Do you know what I mean? It's very nervy. And to get in there and start throwing punches, and any punch can hit you on the chin and kill you. Any punch can hit you on the side of your face and maim you for the rest of your life. When I say maim you, make you a cabbage. You know, and so fair play to him. He gets in the ring, he does what he does. He's done a lot of promotions now. He's promoting his fights, and that's it. Good on you, maker. Well done. I know I run you down, but I don't mean it. I'm your mate, you know what I mean? But I just want to see you go forward. I think sometimes running someone down it's quite good because people are like, oh, he's a geezer, so it's like looking for him, you know what I mean? But people should check this Ben Hatchett out. He's trying. He's even trying his own security company. He's doing his own records now. Not records, DVDs. What they're doing, he's doing all that. He's going forward. Good luck to the kid. He's done a bit of bird. Why shouldn't he go forward? Why shouldn't people help him out? You know what I mean? Help him out. Check his channel out. You know what I mean? Listen, mate. He's going to do all right. He's going to do all right. As long as they keep looking after him like they're looking after him, and don't put him in the ring with someone that can really have it. That's where it's going to be his downfall. If he gets in the ring with someone who can really, really have it and really hurt him, he doesn't want that. Just mollycoddle him, bring him forward, train him hard, and then push him that way. Because all fighters are the same. Not many fighters do they put in the ring with someone that can really have it. They mollycoddle him all the time. I mean, I see Matt Legg when he fought AJ. I mean, it was the undercard. We know it was the undercard. We know AJ down there 6 fights. I think at that time, Matt Legg had maybe 4 fights. I'm not quite sure. Matt Legg knew that he didn't have a lot of chance fighting AJ, but he still got in the ring with AJ. He still got in the ring with someone that is knocking all their opponents out. As an amateur, he won the gold medal, yeah? And he hasn't stopped knocking people out. So this geezer can bang. If he hits you on the chin, he can kill you, rock your head right round your shoulders, and he can do plenty of damage to you, yeah? And Matt Legg went out the first round. He knew that there's no way in a million years he could go more than 2 or 3 rounds. He knew that anyway. He knew that. So he had to go out and throw punches. There's nothing else he could do. And what did he do? He went out and he threw punches. I mean, AJ, good amateur, mate. Good amateur. Come up and coming professional fighter. Knows how to move, knows how to turn you around, knows how to slip punches, knows everything. And as Matt Lee said, when AJ hit him, he hit him, mate. He knew that he'd been hit. But geezer can bang. And to get in the ring with someone like that is a feat. It's not so much damage that he's done at that time, it's the damage that he's done later on. You know what I mean? What he can do, yeah. I mean, it took his eye socket out, yeah. And a fair play to him, mate. A fair play to him. I hold my hands up to Matt Legg for getting in the ring with AJ like that. Listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it lasted 1 round, which it did. It could have lasted 10 rounds. But Matt Legg went out there to kill him. Matt Legg went out there to do the business, and he knew that if he hit AJ on the chin, he got a good chance of rocking him, yeah. But he didn't. AJ's a professional fighter. As I say, good amateur, good record. He just moved around, mate. He knew what he could do. But Geezer's a lot more aware of his own abilities to go out there and crack him. Yeah, but it was a good fight. And it's like, I mean, when I was young, and I see Kevin Finnegan, Chris Finnegan. I see Chris Finnegan fight for the gold. Was it light heavyweight? I think it was cruiserweight or light heavyweight in the Olympics. I think he won it, didn't he? Chris Finnegan. I mean, I stayed up all night to watch that fight, and I thought to myself, yeah, I want to get on in my life as a fighter. And you only go to all these fights. You go to all these fights as a kid. All the Wembley fights, you go and see people fighting, and you're an up-and-coming young kid, 15, 14, 15, 16, and you're going to up and coming. You're up and coming, mate. And you start going down the pro gyms, the Beckett. You start learning, you're watching pros, how they move around. You're watching pros, how they do the floor work, they're skipping. You're watching how they do the shadow boxing. You're learning all the time. And then the greatest thing I ever did, is go down the Haverstock Hills, the Noble Ark, in that was just to walk in there with Georgia Whelan, my trainer, as an amateur, mate. Walk in there and see people like Billy Ed in the ring, Pat McCann, Joe Bugner, them people going in there. You're walking in there as a intermediate novice. You're not intermediate novice. It's like the same thing, open class, but you're intermediate novice, call it here. And you're up and coming. You can really bang, and you think, yeah. You're walking into a professional gym. Jules Daly, a guy called Jules Daly at that time, he run the gym. Jules Daly, old Jules Daly, good, I like old Jules Daly, mate. He run the gym, and when he come out of there, you got all them pros dancing around the ring, shadow boxing, then jumping out, and they're doing a little bad work, or they're getting bandaged up to do a bit of sparring, and you're in there with professional fighters, people that are well respected, you know what I mean? Go in there and you think, God, this is the start of your life. This is going to be it. This is going to be the thing, I got on well with Pat McCann. Loved Pat McCann, mate, to talk to. He wasn't a flash, nice guy. Billy Ed was just a nice geezer, mate. I like Bobby Neal. Bobby Neal was Pat McCann's manager. Bobby Neal, I liked him, mate. Bobby Neal wanted me big time. Bobby Neal, he really wanted me, mate. He was on Georgia Whelan's case. He went, he said, I want him to turn. He said, I want him, George, can I have him? Because Bobby Neal and Georgia Whelan were good pals. And he said, no, he's not up for that yet. And I was ready for it, mate. I was ready to turn pro then, yeah. To see someone like John L. Gardner, he's in there. He's got about, 7, 8 people around him, all looking at John L. Gardner. John L. Gardner was so fit, mate. He was so fit, and he was so crisp, and he was unbelievable what he'd done with his punches, mate. He was a good amateur. Do you know what I mean? He was definitely open class amateur. He could fight who he wanted to fight. Me and him never actually got it on, me and John. I was a bit gutted when I fought Stan McDermott, John McDermott's dad, he beat Tyson Fury in the first fight, John McDermott, but his dad, Stan McDermott, was like his dad, like his son, could really bang, Stan McDermott. And I remember I was up and coming, mate. I was really the business, yeah, honestly, and I felt really well in myself, being down the pro gyms, learning a lot. And when I got him with Stan McDermott, he was a southpaw, and he hit me on the chin. He knocked me over. When I say he knocked me over for the count of 8. I was told to stay down at 8, and I got up and the referee stopped it. More like my eyes going, because he could hit Stan McDermott, yeah. But I was gutted, do you know what I mean? Because Stan McDermott moved forward really fast then, turned pro and everything. And then I fought another guy called Howard James. Howard James was a bald-headed black guy, built like a brick shit house. He was George Foreman's sparring partner for Clay when he fought Clay. Howard James come over to this country, changed his name from that to Howard James. Freddie Mac, I think it was Freddie Mac. Freddie Mac in his corner. Freddie Mac loved me because I had a peekaboo left hook, peekaboo, bang. And Howard James, listen mate, Howard James, he could hit like a mule. When he hit me, it seemed like he had something in his gloves, like a big metal. His knuckles were solid, yeah. And he cut my eye. I was gutted, really, you know what I mean? Because he was the one to beat Howard James, you beat him, you knew you was going forward, you know, because a lot of things come out. I think it was Tommy Matt, or was it, I forget his name now. Anyway, he got me in the dressing room. He said, you know what? He said, that's the best left hook I've seen. That's a peekaboo. Floyd Patterson's left hook, peekaboo left hook. He said, I've not seen many people do that. He said, that was brilliant. He said, when you hit Howard James on the chin, he come back to the corner and he sat down. He said, that geezer can half it. I could bang. I could really bang. But I lost it over Kai. I think a fight that I really had, that I was really proud of at this time. I mean, I had loads of fights, but at a Polytechnic, I fought this geezer called Harry Hurley. Yeah. Harry Hurley, he was the tallest heavyweight in amateur in Great Britain at that time. I think he was 6'10", 6'11", something like that, something ridiculous. Harry Hurley, because I went to the Polytechnic, had a show there, and they said to me, someone I was supposed to fight never showed up here. Got hold of George. George got hold of me. He said, listen, the guy's not showed up. There's a fighter there. Do you want to fight? I said, of course I fight. That's what I'm here for, isn't it? He said, this kid's called Harry Hurley, yeah? He said, you heard of him? I said, I think I have, I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I'm in a queue, right, of seeing the doctor. And all of a sudden, I'm in front of this geezer. He's a giant, 6'11". He's a giant. He might even been taller than that, Harry Hurley. So I'm seeing the doctor. All of a sudden, Hurley, fucking hell, he walks in there. Now I would have committed myself that I want to fight him. I went, oh my God, you know what I mean? So the old arsehole goes, he does go a bit jittery, but you want to fight anyway. So I'm with a guy called Tony Williams and Georgia Williams. Tony Williams was my best mate's brother. Tony Williams, me and him, I'm looking for I'm trying to get hold of Tony. I'm looking for some videos me and Tony Williams done. I done some film sets with Tony Williams in a boxing ring, sparring, this boxing, going around, this boxing. We done some films for it, yeah, for it to be on proper film, you know. And I'd love to be able to get all that videos, but it's fantastic. But anyway, so I'm going to fight Harry Hurley. So all of a sudden they're getting all gloved up and this, that and the other, and this geezer's walking down, he's got a dressing gown on, thing over his head, and he gets in the ring, he's massive, mate. And Tony Williams, fair play with Tony. Tony's sparred with me quite a lot, yeah, Tony. He's on the outside, George is talking to me, and Tony went to me, Ray, just give him that left hook, mate. Give him that peekaboo, bang him with that left hook. He said, bang him with it. This is not I think it's the second round. When I come back after the first round, he said, Ray, it's Tony Williams at me. He's open for it, Ray. He's open for that left hook, mate. So I went out, went down, bang, I hit him with the left hook, mate. Down he went, Harry Hurley. He's the tallest heavyweight in Great Britain. He's never been knocked out before, never been knocked down. What it was me, crash. This geezer had long arms. They talk about Tyson Fury's arms. This geezer's arms was like his. I mean, Tyson Fury was 6'9". This geezer's 6'11", so you can imagine how long his arms were. He jabbed my head off, and I just slipped, bang, over the top, mate. I hit him with the left hook. He hit the floor, and you could see the surprise in his face. You know, you could see it was like, it was that done him. All that, everything he had in it, just lifted from his body. You know, that adrenaline, it just went, mate, it went. He was beat, and I see it in his eyes. He was beat, mate. And he stood up, right? Counter 8, he stood up. I rushed over and I went like this, went down, bang, mate. I hit him with the right hand. Listen, that right hand I hit him with, it hurt my elbow. My elbow was shocked. It shattered my elbow. Why I hit him so hard. And he went down like a And someone's on commented that he's now a black cab driver. I'd love to meet him. Not Stan McDermott, Harry Early. Someone said he's a black cab driver, and yeah, mate, it was like a good fire. Stan McDermott, I think, is a black cab driver too. All black cab drivers. He's Stan McDermott, but he could bang Stan McDermott at Southport. Good banger, mate. But I'm blaming it on myself. I've never really sparred with no only as it happens. I can't say that because I used to spar with Billy Ed. Billy Ed was a southpaw, so I should have been a bit more aware, But anyway, the only person. I can't say the only person I didn't like to spar with. The only person that really taught me a lesson in the ring was Bugner. I was asked, do I want a few rounds? I was big lump, innit? Do I want a few rounds of Bugner, just move around with him? I've done a few with Billy Ed. Do you want to move around? I said, yeah. Listen, Joe Bugner, right, he just really smashed me a bit, smashed me around a bit, He didn't take the piss as such. I suppose in a way he did, He was training, I don't know if he was training for Clay that time, I'm not quite sure. But believe me, mate, he put me through it. He smashed me around a bit, yeah? And as I said before, Pat McCann really pissed off Paul Bugner about that, yeah? But that's life, innit? That's what happens, But, yeah, man. But, yeah, I was like, boxing, I love boxing. I love my boxing in them days, and you think it's like, you miss so much, I miss so much. And now I've got all the opportunities in the world. I've got bags here, punch ball, bag ball, speed ball, a lot, right? But it's just keeping yourself fit, keeping yourself well, you know what I mean? But you think, it's only if you had been a bit more sensible, been a bit more sensible and stuck to something that you knew you could do, which is my boxing, and gone forward. I think I'd have been maybe British European champion. I don't know, maybe me and John O'Gardner would have definitely boxed, me and John, as pros, yeah. I was up there, mate. I was up there. Imagine being British European champion, mate, and then fighting for a title, world title. You don't know what goes on in life, you know what I mean? You're young, you're game, and that's what it's all about, innit? Young game, and adrenaline, good adrenaline, mate, and that's what it's all about, yeah. And I always wanted to go forward with my fighting. But what did I do? What do? You get involved with things like gangsterism, get involved with things like being an enforcer, because you are what you are, you're an ex-fighter, you're a fighter, people love all that, people like to have them people around them, people that can have a fight, have a row, and then it goes on a little bit further. You start doing armed robberies, you start doing robberies, getting money becomes easy to you. You get your 10s, your 20, your 30, your 40, your 50 grand, and it becomes easy to you. And you think, oh, mate, what do I want to do? I don't want to get a boxing and start and get my head punched in for 10 grand or for 15 grand or 20 grand. But you're not looking at the long-term part of it, That's what it's all about, isn't it? And then, I met, when I used to go to the Lilliput Arms in Bermondsey with Peter Kelly, because Peter Kelly lived in his flats opposite the Lille. And I used to go in there and I used to talk to Bill. Meady's been in prison for armed robberies and all this, that and the other, and I used to talk to Bill. And he said to me, he went, Ray, he said, you know what, mate? He said, you're so stupid. You're so stupid what you did, you know what I mean? Because you had your future in front of you. You was a young fighter that had plenty of heart and can bang, Ray. You could bang. You would have gone forward a long way. And he said, like I was up and coming pro myself then. I was a professional fighter, And don't forget, I think he beat Cliff Fields twice, Billy Ed. Stopped him with cut eyes. He didn't. I don't think he put Cliff Fields on his arse. But Billy Ed, Stockley feels twice with cut eyes. Billy Ed was a good fighter, mate. Good fighter. Really, when it comes to Liverpool, knew the ring. And that's what it's about, isn't it? Being a fighter, knew the ring, slips and all that. And, you know, and I respect, but I really like Billy Ed. I really like Billy Ed. He taught me a lot. And when you sit down in there, and he remembered me, you know what I mean? I'm with Peter Kelly, and he remembered me. And he said, what are you doing now then? I said, you know, just come out of prison, doing this, doing that. He said, you getting money? I said, yeah, of course. He said, what are you doing? I said, nothing. He said, do your sort of favour, you. Don't be getting doing anything silly. Do you know what I mean? He said, stay out of prison, right? If you're going to do something, manage your fights, manage them, do promotion or something, you're good at that. You know, but don't get into this gangsterism shit and all that. But, come on, mate. I'm with Peter Kelly. He's with the Arabs and all that little firm, they're all together, all that little mob, all over there. Everybody's there, all the gold bullion mob, you know, all going down all different pubs and all this, that and the other, meeting these people, talking to them. And me sitting there talking to these people, mate, and they're talking about big money, you know, and they wouldn't put you in. You know, you want to get involved with it, and you just finish big sentence, you go, do I want this? But me and Peter used to work together anyway, do bits of work and this, that and the other. Gutted. When I moved away from Peter Kelly. Good mate, good guy, game. Peter Kelly was so game. He was such a game person. He was always game. You know what I mean? He was game in prison. Game. He was game out of prison. You know, and some people have just got that heart, you know, and that adrenaline to go forward. And everything he done, he earned good money. Peter Kelly, fair play to him, mate. He took me to a restaurant he just bought. I've not been out of prison very long. He took me to a restaurant he just bought. Had a great big steak meal at a good restaurant. He got chucked $2,000 on the table, so that should put in your pocket. Just like that, mate. You know what I mean? And you're thinking, oh, I mean, mate, took the money and then started working, me and him working, and that's it, and earning good money. And then you move like an idiot. I moved back to West London, and then I moved back again, and then anyway, that's enough of this. I've done 43 minutes now. This is Bang Bang Rail. Please press the like button and subscribe. Just a video about anything. Take care, bye.